So, in talking about Whatnot, how has Whatnot changed the game for those people that may be watching this
Mhm.
that do not know what Whatnot is? Talk to them about Whatnot and kind of what the presence of that kind of marketplace per se. What has that done for selling things? Because traditionally people sold stuff on eBay, but walk people through Whatnot.
I think what Whatnot really offers a seller is an easy way to sell your cards. Maybe you're not going to get as much value as you would on another platform, but you're going to be able to move in volume and you're going to be able to move stuff fast. We like Whatnot here at DSS because of the speed and the 60-second auctions. And I can start something at $1 and it might sell for twice as much as what I wanted for it, or it might sell for less, but at least we sell it and move on to something else. And if you can find your rhythm and build a following on there, you can move a lot of product in a very short amount of time. I think from anyone you talk to on there, it's about the speed. It's about being able to go live whenever you want and always have an audience. I think that's something that Whatnot and a lot of these other platforms have worked on over the last year is building an audience for you as a seller and being able to get what you want for stuff. I think that's the hardest thing when you're selling something is getting what you want out of it and being able to sell it fast. And I think eBay and a lot of these other apps like Instagram, people selling on Facebook and Instagram, it takes time. eBay takes 7 days for an auction where I can do an auction in 60 seconds on the Whatnot app. So that's a
So,
huge thing for us.
so I've been doing a little research, and I think eBay just announced that they're going to start doing live stream auctions.
Absolutely. Yes. That is something that a lot of people are talking about. I think they're going to be announcing more about that at the Nationals. So hopefully we hear some more details on that. But that is definitely got a lot of people on their toes, especially if you're an eBay seller, because from what I've been hearing about it, it's going to make things definitely shake some things up for sure, especially if you're a big time seller on eBay.
Very much so. Very much so.
What do you think of the current market right now and the whole
I
buzz
think
around?
I think this is. I'm glad you asked that question. So we're gonna get to this. I think the car market is down.
Hmm.
We all know that. I'm not throwing out something that. Oh, really, FD? The car market is down.
Yeah.
Um, I believe there's still plays to be made. Right. I tell people all the time in person. I was just talking. I was at the premiere show here, Jay and Kobe show, and I was talking to some people about this is a time to make some plays on some stuff that we all may have thought is unattainable to us. Right. There are some Patrick Mahomes cars now that may be more attainable to some people. There's some Steph Curry stuff. There's some Michael Jordan stuff. There's some LeBron stuff. The LeBron market is totally different than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, completely different. Some cars are 25% of the face value that they were back then.
It's crazy.
And I mean, we're talking about low pop stuff, um, print run on card.
I think it was his Topps Chrome X Fractor for PSA 10 for 25,000.
Yeah. So these are the cards now that I think people may be able to get their hands on. If you can, I think this is a great market, but let's not sleep on. Even if there's some cars out there that were $1,000 before, let's say they're 300 now. Let's say they're cars that were 500 that are 150 now. These are still some plays you can make. Just so everybody know, Stanton just hit a home run,
Oh,
tied the game up 2-2. Naturally, it
okay.
was up 2-0, so it's 2-2 now. So I think when he crosses, it may be 3-2.
Ooh,
So I think there are many different plays that can be made. Also, if you've been collecting for a while, you haven't seen the market go up and down like you've seen recently, but you've seen trends in the market. And any market, we're talking about stock market, anything you may be investing your money in, you're going to see trends on that. I don't think the hobby is going away. What we
no.
love is not going away. And I think there's gonna be a positive trend on this. You just gotta hold on.
Hearing from my team, the Dallas Card Show, a lot of vintage. You're seeing a lot of vintage coming out, a lot of people making plays into vintage. It's kind of interesting, I mean, I guess vintage,
You know what that is, though, right?
right?
Because for everybody out there, vintage is your somewhat consistent and stable trend in an upward direction. So if
Hmm.
the market is down, your thought is to let's go away from stuff that's more volatile. Modern day basketball, modern day football, football cards that have nothing to do with quarterbacks. Let's maybe move away from that and go to something that I've seen 12, 10%, 8%, maybe 12% over time.
Right. And I was just before we got on here, I was on my phone looking at golden auctions. They set like four new all-time highs on cards. That's the stuff that we don't talk about and we don't see because we see our base Justin Herbert's going from 200 to 180, overnight. It's just, I mean, it happens, when there's a high pop, there's going to be a lot of sales. And I talk about this with guys on Whatnot too, is if I sell a card on here and somebody else goes and puts it on eBay, we're targeting two completely different buying groups. A card
Completely.
might a card might sell for 180 on eBay, but it sells for 300 in my room. But that guy might have really wanted that card, but they don't record that Whatnot sale.
I was about to get into that because this is a question. I was talking to a friend in Sin City the other day, and we were kind of talking a little bit about Whatnot. And I was saying that when we look at comps, right, that Whatnot
Mhm.
sell price is not reported. So how does that impact comps? Right now, there's no answer for that.
There's no answer. Somebody's gonna
We need
get
one.
smart and figure it out. But for that to happen as well on Whatnot, you're gonna have to adjust your listings, um, and make the listings per that card. And then there's a lot of back end stuff that it just kind of it would make it hard. But yeah, I mean, without you manually recording it, I don't know how they would do that.
It'd be rough. Data collection on totality on stuff like that is rough anyway, but it would definitely be rough. But that information is needed, especially if Whatnot
Mhm.
sells are growing the way they've been growing.
Right, right, absolutely.
So now let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. If eBay a win now, well, eBay gives us more information as a community about their live streams. There's got to be a way to collect that data.
Well, from what I was hearing, how it's going to work is you're basically just going to take an eBay auction and go live and pin that auction, I guess. I don't know how much of this I'm really supposed to be sharing, but
Well, if you don't feel comfortable, don't share it. We can talk about it later. I don't want you.
yeah, it sounds really interesting. So
Yeah. Let's see
I've been
here.
hearing from sources though that it's definitely going to be revolutionary for eBay sellers that get
I believe,
involved and have a huge following.
I believe this. Yeah. As soon as I heard about it,
If you
the
have,
irony is, I was talking about this like Sunday, and I was Saturday or Sunday, and I'm like, something's coming. My gut just told me
yeah, it
something.
just I think the biggest problem with any new platform is building a following, but I think with the amount of users that eBay has, they don't have to go fight for that following.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some brand equity there. I mean, I know people talk about shill bidding, things like that, but many of us, I've been buying stuff on eBay since 1996. So, you know,
I'm not worried, honestly, as a Whatnot seller. I think that a lot of these other platforms are going to still survive and still have their own niche. And I think that's maybe some of the reason why you've seen these platforms maybe expand their horizons a little bit more into other things
mhm,
besides collectibles. Um, if anything, I think it's only going to help the live selling aspect.
I
I
agree.
think right now you're working on selling people on buying something live rather than not watching it. I think that was the first test, but I think with COVID, I think that kind of sped up that process a lot. So
I can see it. And competition is good, right?
always good. You have to pivot, and that is the hardest thing for a business person. I think we've noticed it over the last 6 months how many sports card people now are sellers rather than buyers,
True.
and how many people are taken this hobby and turned it into a side hustle or a business.
Mhm.
So with more sellers, you have to find ways to pivot to compete with those other sellers, because that guy Jimmy over there might have the same card as you for $5 less, but you paid the price that Jimmy's selling that card at.
That's right. You're trying to create a margin for yourself.
Right, exactly.
From the bench, base or more common stuff isn't seeing the high sales like before, but I find lower numbered cars are seeing high prices still.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, I think obviously with the base, it's all about the pop report. But like we were talking about earlier, if I have a Zion base Prism 9 and you have a Zion base Prism 9 and you put yours on eBay and put it at a dollar auction, it sells for 86, and I put mine on, eBay as a buy it now and someone buys it for 109, what's the price? And that's been the biggest problem we've been dealing with for the last year on especially base cards.
True.
You have a lot of these people that are getting submissions back from 2 years ago and they can't pay for them, so they have to dump their cards really quickly, and then you get the guy that bought the Zion at 300 and just wants to get 100 out of it, and he's willing. If you're willing to wait and be patient, the prices do turn around. But a lot of this stuff has dipped so much because of panic, because of not being patient. The
Let me
market's
ask this
controlled by
question.
us.
Let me just ask this question. So base was really popular at one point, right?
Right.
People sending a lot of base cards to get graded to sell. Long-term effects of that is that a lot of this modern stuff has base cards have high pop counts, right?
Right.
So in the long run, it kind of hurts the value of the card.
100%.
I don't think people were thinking like that though in the short term.
No, they weren't. And we didn't realize how many were out there, I don't think either. When you were sending in your LaMelo Prism base rookies, I don't think you realized how many other people were doing the same thing you were.
That's true. Just something to think about. I think as we go forward, you know, what are some of the print runs on stuff? What are we sending in?
I
How
think
many?
you're already seeing it with this year's Prism football. I mean, look at the prices of the quarterbacks compared to last year.
Yeah. You know what I never understand though, to the moon? This is what I never understand. It always shocks me, right?
Mhm.
Let's say a new product comes out. People open it, break it, uh, open it at home, no intent to sell. The prices are crazy. Like the
Yep,
Brady out of the new football was selling it like $15,000, right?
yep,
What 2 weeks later it was 6,500.
yep.
Don't we know this though? Don't we know that that's going to happen? And we still go through these trends. But we know
Every time.
fresh out the box, the price is always high. The Mac Jones that came out, prices were crazy: $1,000, $750. Card now is maybe $150.
Yep.
That
It
always
is
gets me. Like we know this. Just wait.
patience.
I
It's all
know.
about wanting it now, though, man. I mean, how much are you going to pay for McDonald's if you want it at 11 o'clock at night and there's only open for another 30 minutes?
Right. That's why DoorDash is destroying the game.
Yep. How many times do we DoorDash? And
You know what's funny to the moon? I remember being in college and we'd be like, man, if they ever deliver to McDonald's, man, it's gonna change everything. It's funny how that goes, right?
right.